Hey guys, I'm back with another sad story to report. The woman you see here, her name was Breonna Taylor. Breonna was a 26-year-old EMT, and she was brutally murdered by cops, yes, by police officers, during a raid at her boyfriend's apartment on March 13th of this year. I've included a news clip, so I'll play the news clip and I'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts.
An officer-involved shooting on Friday morning is speaking out, naming 26-year-old Breonna Taylor as the woman who died when officers say they were executing a drug search warrant. Police say when they arrived to the Springfield location and entered the home, they were met with gunshots. They returned fire, killing Breonna. Breonna's family, however, says officer count does not show the whole picture. They claim officers were looking for someone who didn't live at the home or had any connection to the victim.
She's already was accomplished certified CMT for the city of Louisville. She currently works for U of L Health as a emergency technician. And this is not a woman who would sacrifice her life and her family morals and values to sell drugs on the street.
The family also claims Kenneth Walker, who's now facing attempted murder charges of a police officer, shot at officers in self-defense and is a registered gun owner. Police say that their public integrity unit is currently investigating.
So I'm outraged. I'm outraged because this murder occurred on March 13th and today is May 9th. Almost 2 months since Breonna was murdered by police officers. And I have not heard anything about it. And also, I don't believe anybody has been charged in her murder. So we need to make some noise and try to get justice for Breonna. So this story is a little bit tricky. And I say tricky because of the details that I've gathered so far. So here's the story. Breonna was in bed on the morning of March 13th with Kenneth Walker, who was her boyfriend. They were in bed together when police officers stormed in his home for a narcotic raid. And also I'm hearing that the police officers did not identify themselves. Okay, now that's key in the story, the fact that they did not identify themselves. Because the story is that the officers stormed into Kenneth's apartment and he fired at the officers, and the officers responded by shooting back and ended up hitting Breonna 8 times, killing her. All right, so think about it. If the cops showed up, didn't announce themselves, boom, they shoot at this guy and he shoots back and his girlfriend ends up getting shot dead. Whose fault would that be? Is it the police officers or is it the guy, Kenneth Walker? For me, I'd say it's the police officers because if they didn't identify themselves, that's a huge problem. Because anybody is going to grab their gun if they have one. If they're sleeping and they hear noises in their home and somebody's breaking in, they don't know what it is. It could be a freaking burglar, anybody. I'm shooting. I'm with him on that. I'm shooting. But if that was not the case, then we have a problem. Because, I mean, this is just really tricky, as I said. But we need justice. We need justice in the sense of them needing to investigate this thoroughly. As we don't know exactly what happened. Because, again, if the police officers shot this woman accidentally because they were trying to save their own lives, then we have an issue here. Because if her boyfriend really shot at them knowing that they were law enforcement, then we have an issue. Then it would be on the boyfriend's fault, not the police officers. I'm just keeping it real here. And I don't know. But that's why this crime needs to be investigated thoroughly. I need to get some more details. So I'd like to add something just to give this a little bit more context before I go. There were absolutely no drugs recovered at all in Kenneth Walker's apartment. No drugs. The officers went there to conduct a raid and did not find any drugs, which is what they were there for. And they ended up killing this young lady, taking her life. She was only 26 years old. That is why we need answers. We need answers. We need a thorough investigation to find out what exactly happened in that home. What happened? If this is in fact true, that Kenneth really did not hear the officers identify themselves, or the officers did not identify themselves at all, and he shot because he's protecting himself and his girlfriend, then this was completely justified for him to be shooting at them, because you don't know who they are. You're in bed sleeping and you don't know who these people are that stormed your apartment. Okay? So this is what I'm saying. Like, we need answers to figure out if that's exactly what happened. If that's what happened, the police officers need to be charged. They do. They need to be charged. This is unfair on every level. On every level. If this is in fact true. Okay, so the attorney who's representing Taylor's family says that the police officers were looking for someone else who was apprehended during a separate raid. He's also saying that this was clearly a botched execution of a warrant. You know what? Let me say this. Let's discuss this for a little bit. Let's talk about Kenneth Walker, the man who's been charged with attempted murder, the man whose house they raided. Okay, this man only has a DUI on his record. Prior to this incident, he only had a DUI on his record. Furthermore, there were no drugs at all found in this home. Absolutely no drugs. So, the police may have gotten it wrong. You had the wrong guy, you were at the wrong house, and there were absolutely no drugs. And yet, you guys were in a gun battle and killed this woman for absolutely no reason at all. And now her boyfriend is in jail, and he has been charged with attempted murder because he shot at an officer in an attempt to protect himself and his girlfriend. How the fuck is that fair?